While Montreal may not exactly be known for their tough guys, Sherratt can definitely pack a decent punch. At 6'3" and 225 pounds, the defenseman has earned his fair share of fighting majors thus far. As an Ontario native with 5 fights currently at the NHL level, spent plenty of time duking it out in the OHL and then AHL before being called up.
The center ice area, Sherratt takes Appio down with one punch.
After finally cementing his place in Nashville, Watson has been racking up fighting majors with currently 33 on record. At 6'4" and 204 pounds, the forward has no problem taking on heavyweights such as Tom Wilson, Evander Kane, and Patrick Maroon. If you're looking for a dance partner in the Garden State, then Damon Severson is definitely your guy. At 6'2" and 205 pounds, the blue liner, after answering the bell for the Devils thus far, has 6 fights on record, but spent several seasons perfecting his craft in the minors while he routinely dropped the mitts before being called up. Definitely a guy that's made quite a reputation for himself in the ring for the Isles, Johnston is no stranger when it comes to settling the score. Coming in at 6'5" and 235 pounds, the PEI native spends his time taking on opponents such as Ryan Reeves, Chris Stewart, and Michael Haley. With 13 registered brawls thus far in the league, Johnston was routinely answering the bell throughout his career, going all the way back to his days playing in the QMJHL for the
As Johnson trying to keep the momentum going for the Capitals, just scored. He's got some right hand for Beaulieu. He's got a left hand for Beaulieu as well. And another right for Ross Johnson. And a left, and he puts Beaulieu to his knees. And down he goes. The Cat bench loving it.
While there are a few guys that can definitely hold their own for the Blue Shirts, I chose the more experienced candidate in Michael Haley. With 73 fights recorded as a professional, Haley has been the go-to guy when it comes to protecting teammates. At 5'11" and 202 pounds, he may be the smaller dog in the fight, but the Ontario native doesn't let that stop him from mixing it up with league heavyweights such as Lucic, Wilson, and Delorier. With 51 recorded fights under his belt with his only NHL team, Borokop has spent more than his fair share of time in the sin bin. At 6'4" and 204 pounds, the defenseman routinely challenges the best of the best in the ring, as he's had previous bouts with Wilson, Lucic, and Zach Kassian. And, like many brawlers on this list, the Ottawa native spent adequate time earning his keep with his fists in the minors before being inserted in Ottawa's lineup. Even though their previous image of the Broad Street Bullies has worn away, it's guys like Chris Stewart suiting up in the city of brotherly love that keep opponents in check. Coming in at 6'4" and 242 pounds, Stewart has been punching the dance card while taking on opponents such as Nicolas Delorier, Jamie Alexiak, and Curtis McDermott. With a whopping 63 tilts recorded thus far in his NHL career, I think it's a fair statement to say that Stewart is one tough customer. While there's not much to choose from in the Steel City, I decided to go with up-and-comer Sam Lafferty. While he's relatively new to playing in Pittsburgh, the Pennsylvania native worked his way up in the ranks in Wilkes-Barre Scranton, unafraid to drop the gloves. At 6'1" and just shy of 200 pounds, Lafferty proved in his first NHL fight last season that giving his team a spark of momentum after a scrap is something he's fully capable of.
And once again, Brennan wants absolutely nothing to do with this. This goes back to the first period now. Now we have pandemonium in the Phantom Zone, and the crowd is on its feet. TJ Brennan mixed it up with Sam Lafferty.
Known around the league as one of the few you really don't want to cross, Kane lives to fight just about as much as he does to score goals. At 6'2" and 210 pounds, the power forward has been routinely challenging the cream of the crop, including Eric Branson, Ryan Reeves, and Zdeno Chara. And for many, at least outside of Pittsburgh, were probably thrilled when he KO'd Matt Cook while he was a Thrasher. For the Stanley Cup champions in the Show Me State, the guy you'd most likely end up answering to is Brayden Schenn. At 6'1" and 200 pounds, the forward has been dabbling in the extracurriculars on a routine basis since his days spent in the WHL. With 21 fights currently to his name, professionally, Schenn can be seen duking it out with guys like Nick Foligno, Gabriel Landeskog, and Mark Mathot. It's really no secret that taking down Patrick Maroon when facing off against the Bolts will gain you the most respect, as the St. Louis native is definitely capable of holding his own in the ring. Clocking in at 6'2" and 236 pounds, Maroon has been busy mixing it up in the extracurriculars for quite some time, while simultaneously taking on dance partners such as Chara, Alexiak, and Zach Kassian. He's racked up 56 tilts thus far in the NHL. While Toronto doesn't exactly have many players that bring a bite to their game, Kyle Clifford isn't one to shy away from an old-fashioned punch-in-the-face contest. At 6'2" and 211 pounds, the winger was clearly added to the roster to answer the bell, and he's been doing just that as he's recorded an impressive 83 fights while dueling with opponents such as Delorier, Stewart, and Reeves. While he may not be the biggest guy on the roster, with Tyler Myers towering over him at 6'8", McEwan definitely makes up for it in his ability to scrap, as the PEI native can certainly fire some bruising rights while settling the score. Even though he's relatively new to the fighting scene as a Canuck, the forward at 6'3" and 200 pounds gained much experience dropping the gloves in the AHL and QMJHL. Well, I really don't know if this one needs much explaining, as Reeves seemingly has the heavyweight title around the league. Well, not if Tom Wilson has anything to say about it. Anyways, the forward at 6'3" and 225 pounds routinely brawls with the top dogs, including Wilson, Kane, and Ross Johnston. With an astounding 68 fights thus far in his NHL career, there's no doubt that stepping into the ring with this tough customer will definitely gain you some respect. As one of the toughest teams in the league, the Caps have several guys that have no problem playing on the physical side when need be. But I feel like most of us watching know Wilson is your main guy when it comes to punching the dance card. With 66 fights registered with Washington at 6'4" and 220 pounds, the Toronto native is one of, if not the most feared when it comes to settling the score. The forward began earning a reputation with his fists, going all the way back to his days playing for the Plymouth Whalers of the OHL. Another seemingly no-brainer, Lowry has been engaging in his fair share of bouts up north for Winnipeg, clocking in at 6'5" and 210 pounds with 12 tilts to his name. While in the league, Lowry has been challenging guys like Reeves, Lawson Krause, and Matt Dumba.